And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite section of the show. You heard the woman, the choices of the voices. Number 100, hundredth, or hundredth, as the kids say. Enough of me rambling like I ain't got no sense. With that being said, Scotty, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
The question is, why haven't either of you complimented me on my Dallas Cowboy tie? That's the question.
Because there's nothing to compliment,
It's a beautiful. Look at that, Dallas Cowboys, America's tie. This is,
and as I mentioned before, and now since you brought it up, you most likely overpaid for it.
All right, so the question of the week that we asked, in the spirit of March Madness, what college basketball coach do you most enjoy watching lose? We're going to watch some of these guys go down this coming week. I do have to mention Matty Ice is still in Facebook jail. So he reached out. He said that he doesn't so much enjoy watching them lose, but he did want to make note of some bad losses for Coach Chaney from Temple, and when he threatened to kill Coach Calipari for that whole thing with Temple and UMass years ago, the late John Chaney. Yeah, he was pretty mad at that press conference. But wanted to say thank you to Matty Ice because he contributed a lot of choices of the voices the last 2 years. So thank you. I want to make sure we got him in on this segment. But Eddie Cool, who else did we get here? What else do we have on this?
Free Matty Ice. Free Matty Ice.
Free Matty Ice. We're going to put something on your books. We're going to put some Bitcoin on your books or something. Somehow, some way. The sports bros love you, man, and we miss you. We surely do miss you. All right, leading off, we got Rodney Bellamy. He said all the crybabies. He said Matt Doherty, number one, he was a punk. And then he said, this is because he was a punk. And then he said Gary Williams, John Calipari, Roy Williams, Rick Pitino, Bill Self, and Bruce Pearl. All of them.
and it should be noted that Rodney Bellamy is a huge Duke fan. So there you go. He's going after the ACC guys, old Gary Williams and Doherty.
And I want to say thank you, sir. Thank you, and I respect this answer because he did not mention Dean Smith. So I was waiting for it, but he did not mention Dean Smith. That's a level of respect right there. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, Roy Williams, yeah, John Calipari, absolutely. Yeah, oh yes. But yeah,
I like Cal. I like Coach Cal.
Home of the one and dones, University of Kentucky, who was going to be absent from this tournament this year. Are they absent from the NIT too? I think they are.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way in the world. They man, even if they got invited, they need to go somewhere, and as old folks would say, go somewhere and sat down.
Sat down somewhere.
Yeah.
Have several seats. All right, moving right along, we got JR. He said John Calipari and Roy Williams. I wonder why.
Another Duke fan that did not mention Dean Smith. Respect.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm very surprised. But again, I think, honestly, when it comes to coaches of that caliber and that level, it's just there's a respect level and just what they've done for their respective programs. Roy Williams inherited Dean Smith's program. And so and he don't know how to call a timeout. So I swear, I don't get it. Call timeout. Just get it together. These are 18, 19, but yeah, I could go on for days. My bad. Amtrak this thing. Yes, sir.
Put the train back on the tracks. That's what I do best. Run the point. All right, so here we go. Mark Olds, he said, I enjoyed seeing Bobby Knight lose and Jerry Tarkanian as well, too.
Yeah, the Tark. He changed the towel. He's nice. I mean, come on. I like Tark.
Yeah, if anybody's like, hey, I want to see him win. And that other guy, well, I get it. I truly get it.
Man, there was a time when everybody wanted to see Bobby Knight lose. There was a time where he had a lot of heat.
Yeah. and not the good variety. Ain't it? At one point, weren't the two most hated men in all of college basketball was Christian Laettner and Bobby Knight?
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as he got older, people started to kind of get a little sentimental feeling for him. But man, back in his Indiana heyday, everybody was on Coach Knight, boy. Nobody liked him.
Chokeholds and chairs, baby. Either get put in one or get one thrown at you. All right, moving right along, we have Corey Logren. He said, Bobby Huggins. I can't stand him. I'm a little 50-50 on Bobby Huggins. I'm a little 50-50 on him. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets a little cranky sometimes over there.
That's okay. But he be getting hangry. Bobby be eating good over there. Bobby be getting hangry. He need to go to some little biscuit spots in West Virginia because I'm pretty sure the food is good there. Come on, Bobby Huggins, cut it out.
He's a winner though. He's a winner. He has his teams in the mix every year.
Yeah, that's why I can't hate him because he's consistent with it. Jennifer Roberts, she said, I will never say Gino. Now, is this fact or is this a sense of sarcasm?
No,
she's like Scott's about to say, she is a diehard UConn women's fan. And so like she loves Gino Auriemma. And that was basically saying she will never, ever, ever. And trust me, we've had many conversations about her University of Connecticut. And oh man. Jen, love you. Miss your face.
Your face, he misses it. Thanks, Jennifer. I think this is our first time in Choices of the Voices, so welcome, and don't be the last time, right? Let this be the first and never the last. Moving right along, we got MVP, the Hall of Famer himself, Uncle Max. He said Bruce Pearl, whenever he was coaching Tennessee or Auburn, kind of a scumbag. Now, Uncle Max's affiliation is the University of Alabama. So with Tennessee and Auburn, I get it, and his hatred for Bruce Pearl. Did he take his shirt off one year?
Oh, he did something strange like that, I think. Yeah, he's a lively character. He's a lively character, that Bruce Pearl.
Yeah. And that joke will sweat through his shirt too. He will sweat through his shirt, wringing out his shirt. What the hell, Bruce? It's just a basketball game, brother. Calm all the way down. Been a while since I broke that one out. Something might be coming soon. You never know. All right, so here we go. David Romito. He says Gail Catlett. Scotty D, can you help us out with this one?
I honestly, I don't really remember much about Gail Catlett, but he was a head coach for West Virginia for many years. And I really don't have anything to add. I don't really know much about the guy, honestly. That one kind of came out of nowhere. But thank you for the answer there, Ramito. You remember something that I don't remember.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you don't like it, then this is the place to describe your disdain for Gail Catlett. Joy Buckets, Joe Gafkin, he said, Bobby Knight, just because he seems to be a verbally abusive D-bag. In my honest opinion, IMHO. Yeah, so he like on Bobby Knight.
Yep.
Well, you really can't go wrong with Bobby Knight. And I took a second to pull up Gail Catlett. I just want to bring this up. Mm-hmm. There's a story about him where he denied knowledge of directing numerous and serious recruiting violations performed by an assistant coach while he was the head coach of University of Cincinnati. So maybe that could be something like sounds like a real serious recruiting violation. So maybe that could be the spin part of it. I've honestly never heard the name. So hey, that's what Google is here for. So what do you say? What do you do? All right.
I guess with that being said, I guess you say Gail Catlett was on his early 80s SMU football tip by getting them guys impermissible benefits and doing all this other stuff. And yeah, that's if you want a good 30 for 30 watch, check out The Pony Excess. It's one of my favorite 30 for 30s of all time.
Yeah, that was good. I saw that one.
Yep. We're not gonna say the 4-letter network had come on because they ain't cutting no check. If they ain't cutting no check, We cannot mention them none whatsoever. None at all. Well, fellas, that was a short list of the choices of the voices. Shout out to Joe, Dave, Uncle Max, Jennifer, Corey Logren, Mark Olds, our big brother JR, and Rodney for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Be Live. Who can you not stand to see win but love it when they lose? Who you got?
It's a pretty short list. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. My answer is not Coach K.
Wow.
Oh.
It's not Coach K. I was close. I'm not as respectful as some of these guys were on the choice of. I'm just not that dude. But I will mention Coach K because I don't like his face. I don't like his nose. But I'm gonna say what it is. I'm not going to choose Frank Martin because we've seen him lose so much this year that you know what, almost takes the fun out of it. But there was a consensus. There was a consensus with the choice of voices, and that's gonna be my choice. I'm just looking at the steak face collection, but there's a consensus, and really, Bobby Knight was just it wasn't even the fact that I wanted to see him lose. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I enjoyed his antics. It was entertaining. Like he was so passionate. Yes, he was wrong, but I'm just devil's advocate. I like just raw. I like to see that. And just also, I want to say something to you, Scotty D. Please bring this back when college football season comes up because, oh my goodness, I got a list of college football coaches.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind for sure. We're gonna write that one down.
And half of them coach at the University of Columbia.
I knew it. I'll go ahead. He don't like Brad Scott. He don't like Steve Spurrier. He don't like the interim guy that was there. He don't like Coach Joe Moore. He don't not name one of them. He
don't forget Lou Holtz. He on that list too.
You talking about Lou Holtz, the coach at South Carolina University? Lou, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but your saliva, you can keep it, partner.
But yeah, Bobby Knight. I'll honestly, I'll never ever grow tired of seeing him throw a chair, ever. It's fun.
Yep. Scotty D, who you got?
This one is so easy for me. Jim Boeheim. I love to watch Jim Boeheim lose. He does that smile that means I'm really unhappy, but I'm grinning through it. Whenever he's getting bad calls or if his team's turning it over down the stretch, he does that grin thing. He actually turns orange. The name of his team is the Orange, and he's actually that color. He does that grin thing, and he gets very frustrated and upset. And throughout the game, he does a whole lot of nose picking. He goes into the nostril with the thumb and pulls up. I cannot wait to watch him lose again. And I hope he loses in the first round of this tournament coming up this week. I enjoy it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm a Pitt fan. There's been a rivalry going back with them from the Big East over into the ACC. And when I was working at Overtime, many Syracuse fans would come in and make me sick. And so when they would lose, it was like the trickle down. Boeheim was sad and they were sad. It was just a fantastic treat to watch Syracuse lose. Jim Boeheim is my easy answer. I hope he loses again. I hope he coaches another 80 years so I can watch him lose a lot more. So that's my guy, Boeheim. How about you, Eddie Cool?
Scotty D said he hope he coaches another 80 years.
He's been coaching 80 already. I want to see him coach another 80.
What's that one? There's a meme floating around. And it has Jim Boeheim with his coat flailing, and he doing this, and raisins does not go into potato salad, or something to that extent. You seen it?
Yeah. Okay.
You seen it? Find it, and we'll put it up on the podcast Facebook like page. If I could tick a talk tonight. All right. So that being said, the guy that I like seeing lose the most, I'm gonna have to say Bobby Knight, because the thing about it is he out here beating up other people's kids when he's been put in charge of to help them grow and develop, not scare the bejesus out of them. A very successful coach. He had an old school way of coaching that would not fly in the 21st century of today. You breathe on somebody wrong and it's over with for you. Trust me. I'm not gonna say I've seen it happen, but what I've learned from 2020 going on 2021, do not be surprised at what you see and what you hear and how people get fired and how they got fired. So I'm gonna say Bobby Knight, man, throwing that
transfer portal. It'd be of a transfer portal conversation all the time.
Yeah, Indiana wouldn't be able to field a team on the court because I ain't got time for this. I'd rather go to Valdosta State and deal with mosquitoes in this country place as opposed to dealing with Bobby Knight. But yeah, Bobby Knight was it came to a point where it was doing too much, and he kind of calmed down when he went to Texas Tech, was doing the whole guns blazing thing. I'm like, all right, this might be pretty good. And then his career wound down, and he became an analyst on ESPN. Did he choke somebody there? No, he didn't. But as B-Live said, man, it's the antics, but sometimes the antics outweigh the product. I was like, yeah, Bobby Knight, you need to hold a few of these L's.
Hey, speaking of Indiana, they just fired their coach today, Monday. They had Archie Miller, who was a hot candidate a few years ago. 4 seasons at Indiana, and they never broke into the Big Dance. I think he finished under 500 in the Big Ten and didn't make it to the tournament. So Indiana's back in the market for another coach once again. It will not be Bobby Knight.
Where's good old Tom Crean at? Where he's not?
Yeah, he was the guy he replaced, and so Indiana basketball has been struggling for a while. That's a proud program. Guys, I'm surprised nobody went with Coach K or Rick Pitino, and they're kind of like a couple of the bad guys that are out there. I thought for sure somebody would jump on Pitino because he got bounced from a couple programs.
Well, see, the thing about Rick Pitino, man, he tried to get them boys some free shoes and some stripper gals up in there. Hey, you wanna come to Louisville? Let's see what's going on. See what you got going on here. You talking about guys like Calipari and Pitino? They have a reputation. They have their reputation precedes them. Like in between them, they have like what, 2 national championships apiece. Like you
stripped.
Stripped. And right. Yeah, it's like you do all this illegal stuff to get these kids there, and then it comes out like years down the road. By the way, he cheated. Matter of fact, didn't former NBA player Chuck Person get caught up in that same scandal or whatever involving him and the coach of Arizona? It's just
he went to jail. He got arrested for that.
Yeah,
but somehow Calipari keeps wriggling off the hook. Sean Miller was involved in that too somehow, and I think Arizona somehow evaded some of those issues. But yeah, Chuck Person was in big trouble. A couple of those guys getting some real hot water, but that did cost Pitino his job. Now he's at Iona, and he's back in the tournament again with his 5th team. 5th team he's taken to the NCAA tournament. That's incredible.
The man knows how to coach basketball. It's just
I'd take him at Pitt tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd take him in Columbia.
I'd take him tomorrow.
I would take him in Columbia. And that would give B-Live another person from South Carolina to be mad at. Scotty D, with that being said, what's next week's question for the choices of the voices?
All right, we're going to start working on another 100 next week. And we are going to go again with a March Madness question. This is going to be kind of just a general one, but we just are going to ask you to tell us about one of your favorite March Madness memories, something that happened in the tournament, a storyline, a moment, a shot, a game, anything having to do with March Madness, a favorite moment or a favorite game, a favorite storyline, just something of a favorite anything from March Madness, we'll say. That's what we're going to do next week.
All right, that's it for this edition of Choices of the Voices. And come back next week where we talk about more college football and people doing impermissible benefits to make things happen on the next edition of the Choices of the Voices.